Hello, my name is Danielle and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be introducing my Project 100 Uses project pan. I watch several different creators here on YouTube, namely Chic Geek and Sean Arpari. Both of them have done this project before, and I have been really interested in watching their progress, and I think that this project really fits my goals of trying to get significant use on each of my products in my collection. If you're not familiar with the Project 100 Uses project pan, the whole idea is to get 100 uses on a certain number of products. For me, myself, I'm going to do 6 products at a time. So once I hit 100 uses on one product, then I can roll it out and roll something else in its place. I feel that 6 is a pretty reasonable number, something that I can keep up with that won't be too overwhelming. But hopefully 6 products will also be enough to be a little bit of a challenge. I will be doing another project pan this year that will allow me to cycle through products a little bit quicker than 100 uses. And it hopefully will still be enough to allow me to familiarize myself with each product while also allowing myself to use a larger amount of products. But for these 6, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive. And I was especially intrigued by this project because, to be honest, I'm just curious what 100 uses will look like on each of these products. I was intentional including a mix of different types of formulas and finishes. So hopefully this will be an interesting project to watch to see how quickly at least I can get through each of these different types of products. And hopefully this project will also give you a little bit of an idea of how quickly or slowly a person can work through these types of products. My goal with each of these products is, of course, to reach 100 uses, but I do have a couple of little caveats. So with each of these products, I will be having a little bit of a trial period, which will be the first 25 uses. So after 25 uses, if I'm really just having a rough time with that product and I'm realizing that it's just not a good fit for me and my preferences, I will be allowed to then declutter it. But I want to be sure that I fully give each of these products enough of a chance to truly decide that this is something that is not for me. So that is why I have the 25 use limit. So I must use each of these products at least 25 times. For all of my different project pans this year, I will also be incorporating a mid-year check-in or a mid-year refresh. And at that time, I can also decide to either declutter any products that I'm just really having a rough time with and am realizing beyond the 25 use limit that they just are not right for me. Or this is the only time in the year that I can choose to roll out a product that I would like to keep in my collection. So other than this mid-year refresh, if I'm going to be rolling a product out of this project, it will be decluttered. This is the only time that I will be able to set something aside to return to later on. During the mid-year refresh, maybe I won't be rolling anything out. Maybe I will do a fresh start and roll everything out. Perhaps I will choose only like 1 or 2 to roll out and roll in something new. I'm just kind of along for the ride to see what exactly happens this year, as I've never tried this type of project before. But hopefully the mid-year refresh will be something a little bit interesting and also something that will help to keep me motivated and working on these projects. As for my tracking of the usage of each of these products, I am going to be counting each time I reach for one of these products as a use. So if I use it at all that day, that will be a use. I do have a couple of palettes in this project here right off the bat. And for those palettes, if I use 6 of the pans in there, that will be considered one use. If I use only 1 pan, that will also be considered one use. So it's just a matter of if I'm reaching for that product as a whole. However, I will also be tracking how often I am using each pan in those palettes. And I must use each pan at least 5 times throughout the project. Now, I'm not going to say that I have to use each pan at least 5 times before I hit 25 uses, but if it stays in beyond the 25 uses, then I will have to use each pan at least 5 times throughout the 100 uses. And then, of course, if I choose to reapply any of these products throughout the day, that will be considered an additional use. So I hope those rules all make sense, and now let's hop into the products. So first off, I have my Fenty Cream Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit. As I hope you can see, this product has only had a couple of uses on it. Really, I've only swatched it a few times. I might have used it on my face like once or twice, and that's it so far. So I'm really intrigued to see how much progress I can make on this in 100 uses. I think I've seen somebody on Instagram talk about this, and they finished it in around 100 uses. So if I could do that, that would be amazing. But my main goal, if this does stick through the first 25 uses, would be to at least hit pan on this throughout this project. Next up, I have the Tower 28 Cream Blush in the shade Power Hour. As you can see, this one is pretty much the same as the Fenty bronzer. I've only used it a couple of times on the face, and I really love this color, but I'm a little bit nervous about the formula of the Tower 28 blushes on my face because I do have oily skin. I have several different shades of this Tower 28 cream blush, but this one is the one that I would be most likely to finish even if I didn't really think that the formula was the best fit for me, because this color is just so beautiful and I love it so much. So hopefully I can keep this one in the project beyond the first 25 uses, and if it does stay in, I'm really intrigued to see if I could finish this one in 100 uses. Because it is a bit of a darker color, I could see it being a little bit more difficult to finish up, but I am hoping that I could at least hit pan. My third product is the BH Cosmetics Bellini Blush Palette. This palette is really beautiful, but it does have some pretty bright shades in it, which is a bit intimidating. But I would really love to see what 100 uses looks like in a blush palette with only powder blushes. I'm intrigued but nervous, especially because I think some of these are very pigmented, especially these over on this side of the palette are pretty pigmented. But I would really love it if I could hit pan on something in here. My limit for each of these is to use them at least each 5 times, but I'm guessing that this quad will be the ones that I reach for the most. And especially this one I've used before and I did really enjoy it. This like just peachy color. And then this really light one, I've never worn it on my face. I'm afraid it might be a little bit too light, but we'll see. If I can wear it, then that should be a pretty easy one to use because it is so light. I bet I could go a little bit more heavy-handed. The fourth product in this project is my beloved Pat McGrath Labs Mothership 7 Divine Rose. So here's the inside of the palette. These pans are quite large, so I am interested to see how much I could really use of these, even in 100 uses. But the one thing that this palette does have going for it is the colors are very neutral and wearable, and there is, even with it being a neutral palette, there is quite a bit of versatility, both in texture and in color. I do really love this palette, so I'm interested to see if I could hit pan on anything, or really just how much of this could get used up. This palette has some shades in it that are great as a one and done look, and this palette will also pair very well with both of the palettes that I am trying to pan, which are ABH Soft Glam and ABH Norvina. So I think that this should be pretty easy to incorporate pretty much every day when I do my makeup, and I'm hoping that I could hit my goals on this one pretty easily. My fifth product in this project is the Ofra Highlighter Milk and Cookies. This is a really beautiful little highlighter duo, and because it is a duo like this, it is really appropriate for any time of the year. In the winter months, I can dip a little bit more into the lighter half, and in the summer, I can dip a little bit more into the darker half. Or if I want, I can just swirl my brush in there, which is what I usually do anyways. I'm really excited to see how much progress I can make in this highlighter. I've never hit pan on a highlighter, so if I could hit pan on this in 100 uses, I would be ecstatic. But regardless, this is one of my favorite products in this project right now. So I will love to use it as long as it's in this project. And you may have noticed that I have been showing these products kind of in the order in which you would apply them on your face. So my last product is not the most exciting, but the last product I will be working on for right now in my Project 100 uses is this ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Brink. I've had this pencil for quite some time, at least a couple of years, so it's not the prettiest little thing, but I really have not gotten a whole lot of use out of it considering how long it's been in my collection. So, I really would like to make some decisions about this lip pencil. I do have a few ColourPop lippy pencils, and I still honestly have not really made up my mind about this formula. I think it's okay, but nothing like super fantastic or mind-blowing. And this color I think I like. I did wear it a couple days ago, and it looked very rusty brown on me, and I couldn't decide if I liked that or not. But this project will be the perfect time to kind of figure that out, as I will have to use it at least 25 times, and hopefully that will be enough time for me to make a final decision on if I want to keep this around or not. So that's my introduction to my Project 100 uses for 2022. I am very interested to see how much progress I can make on these, how long these first 6 products will be in this project this year, and I want to see how many pans I can hit or what I can use up this year. So I'm very excited about this project, and if you have any of these products, I would love to hear your thoughts on them and what ways do you use them? What works best for you? I would love to know because I'm going to be using these 100 times and I would love some versatility. If you would like to follow along with my progress, I hope that you'll subscribe. And if you have done this type of project before, I would love to hear how your experience went, or if you're doing a Project 100 uses this year in 2022, I would love to hear how your project is going. Maybe we can keep up with each other throughout the year. So if you have a YouTube channel or an Instagram page, please link it below, and I would love to keep up with your progress as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.